Today, well, we're taking on a mission, really.
Uh-huh.
We want to unpack a text that, might feel really familiar, maybe too familiar.
Okay.
And the goal is to pull out some of the profound insights that often get, overlooked. Get ready for maybe a bit of a perspective shift.
Sounds great. And our source material for this is excerpts from 1 Corinthians 13. People often call it the love chapter.
Right. The famous one.
Exactly. You hear it quoted a lot, especially at weddings. But as we'll explore, the wisdom in there, it goes much, much deeper than just one occasion. There are layers most people haven't really dug into.
That's a perfect setup. Because, it's not just some beautiful words for a ceremony, is it?
Not at all.
This passage, written by the Apostle Paul to believers in Corinth, and they were struggling with divisions, competition.
And difficult situations.
Right. He offers them what he calls a better way.
Mm.
It feels like such a timeless reminder, especially in our world, which is just full of noise and ambition and, constant striving. What truly matters.
That's it. Precisely. And for this deep dive, we've sort of mapped out a journey for you.
Okay.
First, we're going to face this pretty sobering truth Paul starts with, which is even the most, let's say, impressive spiritual activities.
Like what?
Well, things like speaking eloquently in tongues, or having prophetic insight, deep knowledge, even faith that could move mountains, or giving everything you own to the poor, sacrificing your own body.
Wow, big things.
Huge things. But Paul says they're all meaningless, just noise or nothing if love isn't there. That really challenges, I think, our basic ideas about success and significance.
That definitely sounds like turning things upside down right from the start. So after we tackle that, what's next on the map?
Next, we'll really get into the details, unpack that vivid, active picture of love Paul paints in verses 4 to 7. You know the ones. And what's key here, as our sources point out, is that this love, it's not passive or sentimental at all. It's described as active, courageous, and enduring, actually reflecting the very heart of God.
Active, courageous, enduring. Okay.
Yeah. And we'll list out its qualities. It's patient. It's kind. It doesn't envy, doesn't boast, isn't proud. It doesn't dishonor others. It's not self-seeking, not easily angered, keeps no record of wrongs, doesn't delight in evil, rejoices with the truth. Always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres.
That is quite a list.
Yeah.
An incredibly demanding picture of virtue. Makes you wonder how anyone lives up to that.
That is. It really is.
And then once we've got a handle on this active, living definition of love.
Then we move to Paul's point that while all those spiritual gifts, prophecies, tongues, knowledge, they're temporary. They will cease. They'll vanish. But love is eternal. It's the one thing, the one virtue that sticks around when, as the text suggests, faith becomes sight and hope is fulfilled. And that leads straight to this profound conclusion.
Yeah.
Of the three big Christian virtues, faith, hope, and love, the greatest of these is love.
So not just the most important now, but the only one that genuinely lasts beyond this life.
Yes. Yeah, it's powerful. And finally, how does this connect to, our daily lives? Right. The practical application. We'll bring it home by talking about just how powerful and really pervasive the application of this chapter is.
Right.
It's not just for weddings or grand moments. Our sources really stress this. It's a guide for every believer in every season, in every relationship. Every single one. It teaches that spiritual maturity isn't measured by your gifts or what you accomplish. It's measured by how well we love. It becomes a kind of calling to live in a way that mirrors this deep, enduring love.
So it acts like a mirror almost.
Exactly. A mirror to evaluate your own love for others. It pushes the focus onto how people are treated, not just spiritual achievements. Paul's bottom line, ultimately, is that how deeply we love is what matters most.
Okay, let's dive right into that sobering truth you mentioned first. Paul starts with this direct, almost jarring challenge. If I speak in tongues, even with the eloquence of angels, yet have no love, I am just noise. And he goes on, if I have prophetic powers, understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to remove mountains but do not have love, I am nothing.
It really feels like he's flipping our usual understanding of value right on its head.
He absolutely is. And it's quite a brilliant rhetorical move he makes there. The contrast is just so stark.
Yeah.
He's not actually putting down these spiritual gifts or impressive acts in themselves. I mean, he's talking about extraordinary things, powerful spiritual experiences, deep understanding, radical generosity, even martyrdom.
The highest levels of commitment.
Right. But then he just strips them bare, says they have no ultimate meaning if they're not grounded in love. The source material really emphasizes this. Without love, they're just noise or nothing. It forces you to ask, doesn't it? Are we chasing things that look impressive, maybe get applause, instead of what genuinely lasts and how we connect with others?
That's a really powerful question to sit with. It's like you could be doing all the right things, ticking every box.
But if the heart, the motivation, isn't love, it's just hollow. He says, if I give away all I have, and if I hand over my body to be burned, but have not love, I gain nothing. That hits hard. We often equate that kind of sacrifice with the absolute peak of goodness.
That's a really critical point you're making. Our sources describe love as being like the heartbeat of true Christianity.
A heartbeat.
Yeah. It's not some optional extra feature. It's the fundamental drive, the actual why behind it all. This whole first section, it forces us to reevaluate how we measure significance in our own lives.
How so?
Well, are we measuring by achievements, by knowledge, by physical capability, or are we measuring by how deeply, how genuinely we love other people? It's a profound call to look inward, beyond just the surface stuff or what might look good on a spiritual resume.
Okay, so if love is that crucial, what does it actually look like? Because love, well, it can feel pretty abstract sometimes.
Right.
And that's where Paul gives us this incredible, really vivid picture in verses 4 through 7. And the sources highlight, like you said, it's not passive or just sentimental. It's active, courageous, and enduring.
Exactly. This is where the chapter gives really tangible guidance. It's a pretty detailed description of what love does, and just as importantly, what it doesn't do.
Right.
And one thing Paul really brings out is how practical and frankly challenging it is. Love is patient. Love is kind. I mean, that's not just a fleeting feeling. That's a choice, an action, often over a long time.
Deliberate.
Very deliberate. Then he shifts to the negatives. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. These are, well, internal attitudes, aren't they? But they inevitably show up in how we treat people.
And it keeps going directly into how we interact. It's almost like a behavioral guide. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Wow. That not easily angered and keeps no record of wrongs. Those are particularly tough in our world today, right?
Oh, absolutely. Especially the no record of wrongs.
It feels like a call to just constantly extend grace. Daily.
It really is, and the passage keeps going with even more active descriptions. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. So it's not just about being nice, it's about actively siding with what's right and true, even if it's not popular. And those final lines, they're just incredibly powerful. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. That repetition of always, it really drives home the enduring, steadfast nature of this kind of love.
Always, always, always.
And if we tie this back to the bigger picture, this description, it isn't just a manual for how humans should get along. This portrait, as our sources point out, actually reflects the very heart of God.
Okay, that changes things again. It's not just a human standard, but a reflection of the divine. And then Paul sort of zooms out, lifts our gaze towards eternity. He shifts from defining love to talking about how long it lasts.
All right.
He says these spiritual gifts, prophecy, tongues, knowledge, they're going to end. They'll cease, they'll vanish.
Yes, and this is a really crucial turn in his argument. What's striking is Paul isn't dismissing the value of spiritual gifts now.
Okay.
He's just saying they're temporary, they're necessary for now, but ultimately incomplete. The sources talk about a time when we will see fully and understand completely. They use the analogy of a child growing up.
Like seeing dimly now, but clearly later.
Exactly. Our current understanding, our spiritual abilities, they're helpful, but they're limited. One day they'll give way to perfect clarity, and these temporary tools just won't be needed anymore.
So these gifts, which often seem so impressive, the things we might strive for,
Right.
they're basically tools for a temporary phase.
That's a good way to put it.
And then when everything else fades away, when faith becomes sight and hope is fulfilled, love is what's left, love remains. Which leads to that huge conclusion of faith, hope, and love. The greatest of these is love. That really reorders things.
It absolutely does. And it brings up a fundamental question. Why is love the greatest?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. Faith inherently is about believing in what you can't see, right?
Right.
And hope is about anticipating what's coming. But when you're actually in God's presence, faith becomes sight. You won't need to believe in the unseen anymore. You'll see it.
Makes sense.
And hope will be fulfilled. What you hoped for will be reality. But love, Love is eternal. It's seen as the very essence of God, the bond that lasts forever. It's the only one of those three that truly goes beyond our current reality and carries right into eternity. That's what makes it supreme.
Okay, so this isn't just ancient writing or, a nice idea for special days. The sources are really clear. This chapter is a guide for every believer in every season and every relationship. That feels huge, not just for partners or family, but colleagues, neighbors, strangers.
It's incredibly broad and intensely practical. A key takeaway here is that teaching spiritual maturity is not measured by gifts or accomplishments, but by how well we love.
Not by the resume.
Not by the resume at all. So often we tend to focus on achievements, right? How much we've done, how much we know. But this chapter, as our sources explain it, it presents it as a personal calling. A calling to live in a way that actually mirrors this deep, enduring love.
Like that mirror idea again.
Exactly. It becomes a mirror to check our own love for others. It really pushes us to focus on how we treat people, how we build those connections, rather than just looking at our individual spiritual successes or how things appear on the outside.
That is a massive shift in perspective. It means, at the end of it all, it's not what you built or said or even the amazing things you did that matter most.
Mm-hmm.
The sources really nail it by saying it's how deeply we love. That's the ultimate measure.
It really reframes everything, doesn't it? It's a serious challenge to prioritize how we interact with the world, how we genuinely care for others, above pretty much everything else.
Yeah.
It's about embodying that patient, kind, selfless, enduring love in every single part of life.
Wow. What an incredible journey through such a, powerful and timeless piece of writing. We've definitely seen how 1 Corinthians 13 is so much more than just a wedding reading. It offers these really transformative insights into what actually lasts.
Mm-hmm.
It's clear love isn't just some feeling. It's presented as the highest virtue. It's incredibly practical, and it's eternal.
So here's a final thought to maybe mull over. If, as 1 Corinthians 13 suggests, real spiritual maturity, what ultimately endures, isn't really about our achievements or our knowledge or even faith and hope by themselves, but truly about how deeply we love.
Okay.
What would it actually look like if you consciously started applying that measure to your own life, to your relationships, your goals, starting, say, today? What would genuinely change if your main way of measuring success and fulfillment became the depth of your patient, kind, and enduring love for others?
Thanks for resting here at Bible Base. See you on the next podcast. May God's peace walk with you.